Okay, hello everybody. Warmly welcome to Ponsse factory. It's great to have you all with us. I believe this is our 7th webinar and Ponsse Live Studio this year, so we have been busy with these webinars this year. It's great to have you with us, and we are the host team for you today, and we have a group of experts from Ponsse, and I think it's important that we introduce ourselves first. My name is Marko Mattila, and I'm the Sales, Marketing and Service Director at Ponsse. And Anne, maybe you can continue.
Yes, my name is Anne Härkönen, and I'm working in factory training team as a training designer.
And my name is Jan Kauhanen. I'm product manager and responsible of harvester base machine and harvester cranes.
And my name is Juha Haverinen. I'm responsible of forwarders and forwarder cranes.
Excellent. So this is our strong team supporting you all through this webinar. We're going to have some discussions with these guys here during this webinar, but most importantly, we have excellent videos, testimonials, broadcasts from different parts of the world. I believe from Brazil, USA, China, Germany, and so on. But it will be quite interesting all through this webinar. So the topic what we are going to be talking is the steep slope harvesting, and that will be what is our Ponsse solution for that, and we will be discussing about that. But before we go to this topic, very shortly I want to explain about Ponsse company, if there is some people that don't know about our company yet. So, of course, Ponsse, we are forest machine company, and we are strictly focused on manufacturing machines, technology, and information systems, and so on for the cut-to-length harvesting method. So that's what we do, and we provide the services, of course, to our customers all around the world. And we have been in business over 50 years, so the company was founded 1970, and we are located here in the middle of the Finland in Vieremä village. And this is our network that you can see in the background, so we are in over 40 countries in the world, and our experts are serving the customers every single day in this market. And our vision is to be the preferred partner for responsible forestry, and important is that our roots are deep in the forest. We are basically born in the middle of the forest here in Finland, and actually forest connects us with our customers and with our partners. And we really want to establish long-term partnerships with our customers and with our partners. This is very important, from generations to the next generations. And healthy forests, that's something that really inspires us here at Ponsse. And we truly believe that with the right forest management practices and with the right tools and with the environmentally friendly cut-to-length harvesting method and machinery, we can really achieve healthy forest in the world. And this is quite great. We are inspired about that. And on top of that, actually, it's important to mention that we can increase the productivity, improve the efficiency in operations, and also improve the safety at work. So that is quite important. Okay, so Ponsse Solutions. Okay, we manufacture, like I said, harvesters, forwarders, harvester heads, information systems, and we provide the digital services, we provide services to the customers, competence development, tools, training, solutions, you name it. So we can really custom build solution for each customer based on their need. This is very important, and that's why we are here today when we talk about our solution for the steep slope harvesting. And our mission is that our customers succeed together with us. So that is very, very clear. And finally, we do what we promise, like our founder, Mr. Einari Wikgren, always said, and we always listen our customers and operators very carefully and develop our solutions for them. So that's the way we go forward still today and in the future. Okay, so that was very shortly about Ponsse, and I think we will now move forward, and it's time for our first video. And this first video is from Brazil, and it is from a Senipra company, and this company is very important when we talk about the steep slope harvesting technology development at Ponsse. We have been making lots of cooperation with our R&D with this company in the last many years. And last year we delivered 16,000 Ponsse machine to this company Senipra, and we will go and see the video from Senipra. So Senipra Brazil, go ahead.
É com grande satisfação que nós estamos aqui numa área operacional da Senibra, na região do Cocais, projeto Olaria, para recebermos a máquina de número 16.000, fabricada pela Ponsse, que é um ergo, um harvester ergo. Então, a nossa característica do nosso site é uma região montanhosa, com aclives acentuados, onde exige do equipamento uma robustez e um esforço maior para vencer essas dificuldades de tração, essas dificuldades de rampa. E com isso nós identificamos um potencial enorme e uma parceria muito sólida com a Ponsse e fomos pioneiros no Brasil no desenvolvimento desse novo sistema de colheita. Então, assim, é com muita satisfação que nós, depois de 6 anos do início da nossa parceria, nós estamos aí consolidando com uma máquina modificada dentro dos parâmetros que a Senibra necessita para a sua atividade, né?
A Senibra tem como principal valor a segurança de seus empregados. Visto a severidade do nosso site de operação, a Senibra tem um programa robusto de treinamento e capacitação de seus operadores. O equipamento Ponsse atende vários itens que foram melhorados a partir de aprendizado da colheita aqui na Senibra. E nossos operadores trazem bastante feedback positivo sobre esses itens, assim como outros itens de ganho operacional.
Então, o meu depoimento é assim, com muita sinceridade e confiança em que essa parceria ela é duradoura e só tende a melhorar todo o nosso processo de colheita.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Schettino and all the people there at Senipra. Nice video. And like I said in the beginning, excellent cooperation with this company. And when we talk about the R&D actually and developing our solutions for the steep slope harvesting, we are actually located at the moment in a test hall at the factory. So we are checking and testing our machines' traction force and so on in this hall. So just to mention where we are located here at the factory. Okay, but maybe let's talk a little bit about this steep slope harvesting, and you know, I suppose it's quite clear a lot of the you know, food production in the world it's in you know, flat areas, and more of this wood harvesting is actually switching and moving to the steep slopes. We can see this kind of a trend. Or how would you say about this, Anne? You have seen these logging environments a lot all around the world. How do you see this development, and what kind of a methods has been used or is used at the moment in the world?
Of course, there has been loggings in steep areas all the time, everywhere around the world with different methods. But these methods, mainly, they have been some manual and labor-intensive ones. And when we are talking now about cut-to-length machines, and cut-to-length is increasing, and share of cut-to-length is increasing all the time. So it means that also cut-to-length machines are going to the harvest to steep areas. And because we have quite a lot of advantages in cut-to-length machines, they are safer, because there are no need for manual labor outside of the machine. They are effective. Weather is not influencing that much. And of course, there is one thing to mention is that the timber quality, the contact with the soil with these cut-to-length machines is minimized.
Exactly. Those are very good points. And also when thinking about this logging sites all around the world and thinking about this kind of a more traditional ways of doing things, you know, it requires quite a lot of time to establish this kind of other systems, you know, cable systems to the steep slope areas. So with this kind of two-machine solution, it's quite easy and fast just to start working. Or how would you say about this?
Yes, that's true. It's increasing the efficiency and it is reducing the number of the people working in with one harvesting complex.
Exactly. Less labor intensive this way.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, but I think next is now it's a good time to go and check our second video, and when we talk about the flat areas and the steep slopes, and very good place to go and visit is China, of course, and our people in China are waiting there with their broadcast. So China, let's hear your voice.
Hello everyone. Now we are here in China, southern China, Guangxi province. My name is Kallemäen, and with me today is our customer representative Opa. Could you please tell something about yourself and your operations here in Guangxi?
Yes, gladly. So my name is Olli-Pekka Ahonen and I'm head of the operations in here in the Stora Enso Guangxi plantations in the China. And we have been here now almost 20 years and started this harvesting operations with our machinery in 2007. Annually we are cutting down about 1 million cubic meters and using the harvesting machines about 600,000 cubic meters. And our slope area where we need this kind of similar machines with the winches is about the 400,000 cubic meters annually what we are cutting using these winch machines, winch-assisted machines.
Yes, I remember when we came here 2007, we very soon realized that most of the land area is flat land areas covered by agriculture and food production. And like in many countries, forestry is moving more and more in these slope areas and more demanding places. So we start manufacturing first 8-wheel machine Erco 2009, and then 2010 we got first 8-wheel machine over here. The operations, and our later development was these winch machines what we implemented here 2015. So what do you think about that? It's been quite useful if you compare to manual operations in these slope areas.
Yes, indeed. We have this kind of two purposes when we are using the mechanical harvesting machines in here. One, of course, is the efficiency, and the second one is the related to safety. And if you start to comparing the safety side, that if you do think that the normal manual operations here in the China, you can see a lot of the local people without any training of the chainsaw operations carrying these 2.6 meter logs. These ones are 5.2 to our mills, but the half of the size basically on the shoulder to the trucks. And then it means that there's this kind of risk of that the accidents is very high. If you compare the machines with the winch-assisted machines, that this is the much safer than what we are having in this kind of manual operations. The second reason is coming from that size that if you compare the efficiency what we are having per one unit in here in our hands, it's much more better in that sense. The productivity is high, and it's also happening here in the China, in this kind of phenomenon where it's difficult to find out the local labor anymore to do the forest work by manually in same time.
Yeah, it's very understandable because these weather conditions in summer rainy season, and now also it's very hot, and the young people, they would like to move in the big cities. A little bit about these winch operations that you were mentioning, this safety. safety thing, and basically this is not like a safety equipment. When we are operating the winch in a very steep slope, it means that the machine have to still stand still in very steep slopes, and the winch will assist you downhill and going uphill much easier, and the operator can easily adjust it all the time as much as he needs pulling power.
Yes, exactly.
Another thing what I see, the results on erosion, what is quite a big thing all over the world nowadays, is that when we are harvesting with these harvesters in the steep slopes, we are mostly driving around on the top of these branches, and then with aggressive tracks this winch helps that wheels doesn't start spinning and start causing erosion after rainy season.
That's true.
Yes.
And if you think also the traditional way how they are doing the building the roads for the forest size, so they are having this kind of the distance between the forest side road is maybe 30 meters, and by this they are creating this kind of erosion risk also in our operations. But when you are using this kind of wind assisted machines, then the distance between the roads can be needed longer at that sense.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a 350 meters on steep steel rope in these winches, so it can be quite a long slopes. Today we have a quite short slopes over here, but you don't actually need this winch all the time. You have some areas where you need winch a little bit, but sometimes you need, but that helps that you can cut everything in those steep areas also.
So we are having about 1/3 of our land base is this kind of area where we do not use the winds. But we made this kind of decision that all our harvester machines, we are having those in the operations, 14 machines and some extra machines for the training purposes and extra machines. So they are equipped with all with the winches, so we can operate the fleet in everywhere.
When we go a little bit back to the safety, you remember that last year we had a project together, and like Ponsse is lots of doing product development with customers. We have this ASSP, automatic steep slope brake. We were able to test it over here in China very successfully, and all our new winch machines are coming automatically from the factory with this ASSP system.
Yes, we did that together in this kind of product development project, and we were testing those in our machines in here. And this is also the one good cooperation model with the Ponsse, because Ponsse is helping us in this kind of what I call the base training of the operators. There is no any forest school for the operators here in the whole China, so it means that we have to train all our operators together with Ponsse. Maybe one thing to add still, what you can see it here is also our logs in that sense. So we are basically producing and delivering pulpwood to our BC and TP mill in that sense, and it needs to be deparked here in the forest, because we do not have this kind of the deparking station in our mill yard at all. So those Ponsse harvesting head, which the EUCA parking systems, they are serving us very well, and we have not got any complaints from our mill side. So we are fulfilling our customer needs also using those harvester heads.
All right, thank you very much, Opa, and I think that we are going to listen to some operator comments about the real working environment.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
大家好，我叫陈连杰，来自广西北海的。然后开这台集采机的话，现在已经是工作有2年半了。然后这种机器的话，就在山里面干活，比人工这方面的话比较省人工吧，然后开的比较先进，然后那个效率的话比较高。干山地活的话，就人可能的话危险性比较大，然后开机器的话，它有一个绞盘，然后用这个东西的话，它直接是可以机器整个的木头都可以拉得上去，就比较方便，危险性的话也减少很多。改进的地方，现在用感觉是蛮好的，也没有什么需要改进。现在这种情况是比较良好的，用起来也比较方便。
我叫邓长全，是石大兰所的采伐机手。我开这个机器有差不多10年了吧，感觉上来说，旁晒的采伐机效率还是挺高，安全性还是挺好的。然后在15年的时候， 因为我们在广西的采伐，这个地都是比较陡，然后我们在2015年的时候就引进了这个采伐的绞盘机。引进这个采伐绞盘机之后呢，就可以更高效进行这个林地采伐作业，而且可以适应更艰难的地形。
Okay, thank you, China. Excellent comments and excellent feedback from you guys.
Another important thing is that when talking about erosion risk and erosion control is to correctly set pulling power. It is important to set the pulling power in a correct way in order to avoid the rooting of the soil and the track formation. When there are tracks and soil is disturbed, it means increased erosion control.
This was very good points that you raised up, Anne. So this erosion control and sustainability issues, that's very important everywhere in the world. And I think it's the good bridge to move already straight to USA and listen a little bit from Andy, who is lead forester from Colorado, and he's going to talk a bit more from the forester's point of view and what he sees, how the sustainability issues are and what it means in logging there. So, Andy, I think it's your turn. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Andy Lurch. I'm the lead forester for the Arkansas River Watershed Collaborative, and I live here in Salida, Colorado. We are obviously water focused, and so we're doing forest management to ensure beneficial outcomes for downstream users, be that recreation or certainly water providers and municipalities. These severe wildfires put sediment and debris into our waterways, which have negative impacts for all different users. So we've realized that it's better for all of us if we take a proactive approach and manage these forests. We're very concerned about the beetle kill that's behind us and what type of fire might result if it should occur here. And so we've enlisted Miller Timber to help us out with dealing with these steep slopes to manage this beetle kill. We're thrilled to have Miller here to be able to do this project, to find a way to manage and get up here and treat these lands that no one else really thought was possible. So in Colorado, a lot of times the steep slopes are not managed. It's difficult, it's expensive, and there's not a whole lot of options at our disposal. And so most people, when they have treated steep slopes, have used helicopters. And this idea came about to use cut-to-length forestry to manage this area. And it's a fantastic solution where we're reducing that cost, but we're having a very acceptable impact on the landscape. And we've been really impressed with the ability of this equipment to address our needs on this hill slope. This is really going to be another tool in the toolbox for managers in Colorado. And we see this as a demonstration, and we're trying to get the word out to all manner of natural resource managers and forest managers here in the state so that they can see this equipment and what it's capable of, and they can see what they might be able to do with it in their areas. What's going to change is that people are going to see this as an option, and it's going to change their planning perspective that there may be these high priority areas that are on steep slopes that previously we thought were impossible to treat, and that's no longer the case. Whether it's on the federal side or private landowners, that this is also an option as well. So I think we're going to see that steep slopes are no longer off limits.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Great discussions from you from Colorado. And maybe next now we need to start talk about the products and talk about our solutions a bit more deeply. And maybe, well, first of all, it's been a long development path of our solution to the steep slopes. And maybe you can open up a little bit about this, Jan. Maybe you can start with the 8-wheel harvester configuration and how that has been going. So maybe you can talk a little bit, start from there.
Yeah, I think, of course, the biggest thing was the 8-wheel harvester when we're talking about the steep slopes. And actually, Ponsse used to have an 8-wheel harvester in production until late 90s. And then there was almost 10 years gap before we launched the Fox and Erko 8-wheeler. And I think it was 2 years later came also Bear 8-wheeler. And at the moment, Ponsse has all harvester 8-wheelers except the Beaver, and also Erko is available as a 6-wheel model. And that was the big step, but then it was 2013 when Syncrowinds came as a factory option. And actually that brought new needs for the base machine side also.
Very good. There has been very intensive R&D development, which has been going around years and years actually when we start thinking about this. Can you guys say a little bit about what kind of slopes it's possible to go with our machines? This might be a question from the customers and from the people who are watching this. So can you say some words about that?
The machine has to be able to stand still with its own brakes and on the tracks and with the right combination assembly to the machine. And basically then the next limit is the pulling power of the machine. So basically, as Anne was saying, the winch is also only assisting the operation and giving some easiness for the operation that you can go over there. But as Jan was saying, that we had that winch brought up to the production in 2013, but already on then there was a lot of demands from the steep slope side, like brakes has to be able to hold the weight of the machine, and also some changes of the oil pan of the engine and things like that, and also like oil tank and fuel tank has to be properly designed to be able to go to the steep slope. So that was exactly the thing.
So as a repetition, so winch can be implemented to our harvesters and forwarders. Can you still say which models, just to make sure that everybody remembers? So which models can get?
The harvester side, Cobra, Erko 8-wheeler and Bear.
And on the forwarder side, it's Buffalo, Bison, Elephant and Elephant King.
Okay, and also maybe one additional question. Maybe Juha, you can start. What would be the required or recommended options for our forwarders and our machines for the steep slope harvesting operation? So what would you say, what kind of things we have to offer to the customers?
I think the easiest options to be mentioned is the balanced bogies, for example, and also the tiltable crane option for the forwarders. So those are I think the biggest impact on the slope operations. And yeah, that is on the forwarder side, and also this automatic steep slope brake is a good option to be mentioned here. So basically that option monitors machines power line all the time, and if there's some error, it connects brakes automatically.
So safety related option quite heavily there.
And also Jan can continue about the harvester side.
Yeah, about that ASSP system, it is standard with the winch machines, but of course you can choose that like an option for the other machines also. But the harvester side, like Juha mentions, balanced bogies, very good options for the steep hills. And in harvester side, we have already 20 degrees tilt crane table as a standard in our harvesters. But then we have, of course, we have two different kind of cranes. So sliding boom, quite many customer likes sliding boom when they are working in very steep hills, because with that crane you can keep the gravity point of the machine very low level. So machine is very stable even in the very steep hills. And of course the smaller options what they can choose is inclinometer. You know what is the angle of the hills, and then of course the 4-point seat belt. It is very comfort for the driver when you are in steep hills.
And leveling seat base.
Yes, that also.
So actually when we talk about our solutions, our machines to the steep slopes, it's a combination, it's a package. You know, it's been developed over the years. So different options and you know, there's a winch and there's all these options and the 8-wheel configuration for the machines and drive line, everything has been thought very well there. So
yeah, and actually there is a lot of features as a standard in all our machines. Like Juha mentioned, the oil pan, brakes, and then tanks. They are already made for the steep hills, so it is not any extra cost for the customer. It is always there.
Exactly. Yeah, and as we have been discussing earlier on, this all has been developed very closely cooperation with our customers. And like we discussed, Senipra and China and all the other customers also in USA and so on. So this is the result. Okay, yeah, thanks Jan and Juha. Very good things that you guys were raising up. And maybe Anne, do you have any other things that you want to highlight at this point about the discussion?
Yes, there are lots of technical solutions done to able working in the steeper places as well. But we have to keep in mind that nature dictates the ultimate limits. So what kind of topsoil there is, what kind of weather there is, what kind of micro variation there is in the slope, all these set the limits where we can go and work.
Exactly. Very important point.
And also operator, the skills of the operators.
Exactly. Training is very important. Yes. In this case also. Yeah. Okay. Are we guys done at the moment? And maybe we are ready to go to the Germany at this point. We have a next video waiting and the guys are waiting there. So let's go to Germany and listen a little bit what are our customers discussing there. So Germany, welcome.
Hello, Ponsse people. We are here in middle of Germany in the Harz Mountains. We have really beautiful nature here, but a big problem with beetle attack since 2018. It was a very dry summer. And after that started a beetle attack, which is coming more and more. And now it's a really big problem. You can see the pictures, all affected trees, spruce trees, which are affected from beetle, like Buchdrucker in German, name it. We are guests in company Oberbüchler, which have multiple machines in steep slopes.
Hallo, ich begrüße euch bei Firma Oberbüchler. Ich bin der Seniorchef. Ich habe die Firma 1999 gegründet und möchte euch gern die Steierhangtechnik vorstellen. Jetzt übergebe ich an meinen Sohn Ralf. Viel Spaß bei der Vorführung.
Hallo Ralf, danke vielmals, dass wir bei euch sein dürfen. Erzähl uns noch ein bisschen von eurem Betrieb, wie er entstanden ist und woher er kommt.
Gerne, Klaus. Wir sind in Deutschland schon ein mittelständiges bis großes Forstunternehmen. Ich bin seit 4 Jahren mit in der Geschäftsführung in den Holzrückebetrieb Oberbüchler. Und den Betrieb gibt es schon 22 Jahre. Ich bin aktuell 15 Jahre mit dabei. Und wir haben 38 Angestellte, 7 Forwarder, davon sind 6 mit der Traktionswinde ausgerüstet, 3 Ergos mit Traktionswinde und diesen Bär mit Klemmbank und Winde.
Danke vielmals. Was habt ihr für Erfahrungen gemacht und wann habt ihr angefangen und wie seid ihr zu der Zusammenarbeit mit Ponsse, Wahlers und Herzog gekommen?
Also wir hatten 2009 angefangen mit Traktionswindentechnik, die uns aber allerdings nicht so gut gefallen ist. Darauf sind wir zu Ponsse gegangen und die haben uns 2010 die Lösung mit Firma Herzog vorgezeigt und dann haben wir den ersten Prototypen damals am Berg bekommen und waren gleich sehr zufrieden.
Wie hat sich die Windentechnik von damals oder auch der Windeneinsatz entwickelt von 2010 bis heute?
Also zu den Prototypen bis heute sind schon große Schritte gemacht worden. In Anführungsstrichen, die Kinderkrankheiten sind alle weg und die Winde ist bedeutend kleiner geworden wie die erste Winde. Und ja, sie wird eigentlich von Jahr zu Jahr besser.
Wie ist das Auftragsvolumen? Ist das größer geworden? Hat sich das wegen der Windentechnik vergrößert oder trotz der Windentechnik?
Wir wollten speziell die Windentechnik haben, weil ein Riesenpotenzial wir gesehen haben 2009, 2010 in dem Bereich Übergangsgelände von der Ebene zum Hang, weil das die Bestände waren, die undurchforstet waren. Und daraufhin haben wir uns ja entschieden, diese Lösung zu suchen mit der Traktionswinde. Und dieses Potenzial ist bis heute geblieben. Also diese Nachfrage ist riesig, der Traktionswindentechnik.
Ich würde dir gerne eigentlich so ein paar direkte Fragen stellen. Wie beurteilst du die Wirtschaftlichkeit der Hangwindentechnik gegenüber anderen Systemen?
Es gibt keine andere Technik, die so preisgünstig und so sauber und wirtschaftlich arbeiten kann, wie die Traktionswinde an den Übergangsgelände Plateau zu Steilhang hängen.
Ihr arbeitet vorwiegend am Steilhang. Hast du in Sachen Pfleglichkeit Erfahrungen gemacht, Bestandesschonung?
Es gibt keine bessere Technik, um ein bodenschonendes Arbeiten mit Kurzholz aus den Steilhang- oder Übergangsgeländen Holz rauszuholen. Die Traktionswinde ist ein super Hilfsmittel dabei, so wenig wie möglich Schaden in den verbleibenden Beständen zu machen. Also es gibt meiner Meinung nach nichts Besseres wie die Arbeit mit der Winde an diesem Gelände.
Hast du großen Energieverbrauch festgestellt im Verhältnis zu anderen Arbeitsweisen?
Es gibt einen kleinen höheren Verbrauch, aber der ist so minimal, dass der nicht in Toleranz gerät, also eigentlich keine Rede wert wäre.
Okay. Vielen Dank für deine Antworten. Wir hoffen, wir konnten aus dem schönen Harz etwas zeigen und die Bilder dazu sprechen für sich.
Okay, thank you Germany, and now we are back to Ponsse studio and we have two special guests with us today here, and we have a remote connection to Switzerland, and our great partners from Herzog company, Klaus and Lukas, are here with us. So hello Klaus and Lukas.
Hello Ponsse people.
Hello, how are you doing?
Yeah, fine.
Okay, very good. Well, we have a few questions we would like to discuss with you a little bit about the wind solution. So Herzog is the company which is manufacturing this synchro winds solution to Ponsse machines, and maybe Klaus, Lukas, you would like to tell a little bit about your company history and about the company overall.
Yeah, also the history was after 10 years in the forest business. I started in 1992 the Herzog Forsttechnik company as we have now, and in first with 3 and now with a total 26 people. We produce mainly winches, traction winches. In the years 90, we produced our own forwarder, and on this forwarder in the end of the 90s, 99, we produced the first prototype, and this prototype was with traction assistance winch, already principle the same as we have today. And then for 3 weeks I was in the forest to test this machine by myself to look if this idea is is working or if it's not working. And at the end of these 3 weeks, I was coming back with really 3 pages full with remarks, what we have to change, what we have to do, what is important, but also, and this was important, with the knowing it works. And in 2003, we launched this idea, this traction assistance winch at the first KWF, also at the KWF show in Germany in 2003. And then, so very hard time, a little bit, one machine after the other we could sell to customers. And in 2007, I decided to stop this forward production, what we have done by ourselves, that we concentrate us on this technology for the winches, for the steep slope winches. And in 2008, we produced the first Ponsse Buffalo with winch. And we presented also at the KWF show in Schmallenberg in 2008. This was the start of Ponsse with our winches. And then in the years after, so about 30 to 40 winches we produced till 2013. And then was starting the direct collaboration with your company, with the factory. And then the export started. First, so 20, 30 machines per year. And now it's export to you around 50 to 60 machines per year.
Very good. Well, thanks for that information, Klaus. And what about how many Ponsse machines there, or how many winches there is globally at the moment? What would you say? How many you have manufactured?
Yeah, in total we are approaching 500 that we have produced so far. So it's about 60% forward winches and 40% harvester winches.
Exactly. Very nice number already, and a long history from 1999 all the way today.
Yeah.
So.
But it was a long time, from 99 to, we can say, 10 years. It was very slow growing, and the acceptance on the market was really with a lot of it is too expensive and not too productive and so on. And then it was coming more and more, and the people have seen, oh no, this idea is not wrong. This is the right way. And now in steep slopes, as an example, in Germany, they have nearly only traction assistance winch, and mostly Ponsse is our winch. This is really market leader.
Exactly. Would you like to tell a few main arguments why synchro winch is needed in a steep slope harvesting in many times? So can you say a few arguments, main reasonings?
Also, it is the productivity and the good work style for the operator, that he can be sure how the machine is reacting. If I will go down, I go down 1 meter or 2 meter or only 50 centimeters. If I will go up, then I go up, and not a maybe and the sliding. And it is, the machine is aligned. And this is really an indirect security. It's not a direct security, but an indirect. And this gives a good work style. This is most important. And then it's we have to save the soil. The soil is our production base. And this is the second thing. So we have to make money, but we have also to save the conditions. This is very important.
Only if the track that you leave behind is possible to be driven by the forwarder after the harvester, and also be able to driven next time, maybe a couple of years after. Only then you can do sustainable logging in those slopes. Otherwise you destroy, and you'll never be able to use it in the same way again after that.
So good productivity, and it's customers and contractors can really cut the trees needed, and then safety issues, also security to get to the places, have the security to be able to get back from the areas, and so a lot of things like that. So many important points. What about, can you say a few words about the winch itself in a forwarder and harvester? I mean, main principles, you know, how it is mounted into the machines, and just basic stuff about the technical things.
On the forwarder, it's behind the rear axle, actually under the load space. The winch is mounted, so it takes the least possible place away from the machine. And on the harvester, the winch is actually mounted in front of the engine bonnet, as the machine, when it's working from top of the slope downwards, it's in the right direction. And both winches actually have almost the same internals. They both have a maximum pulling power of 10 tons and have 350 meters of compacted steel cable. And very importantly, compared to a lot of winches for general use that most people probably know, we have a very sophisticated guided spooling system. We have rope pre-tensioning system. So the winch really makes sure that the cable is always going on the drum in a very guided manner. And that is one of the most important things about our winch.
Yeah, and what it is also important is the link to the base machine. And there we have really the ideal conditions with Ponsse, that we have the interface between the machine and the winch. And we have also on the level of R&D, we have interchanging information. This is very, very good for us. And I think this increased the quality and possibility of the whole product.
Exactly, it's like a full package for the customers, you know.
Yeah, and it's the winch is assembled in the factory. Also, the final test is in the factory. So we have really a partnership that we deliver, but the end quality is in hand of Ponsse, and together we have really a good solution.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a great partnership, and thank you already for that. So, how do you guys see the future of the steep slope logging? How would you say about that?
Also, finally, we have to say on the flat ground, a lot of wood is cutted, or it's not really disponible. Agriculture is asking more and more terrain. Also, in steep slopes, in hills and mountains, it is a reserve, and there are good conditions often about enough rain. This is the base for forestry, and so the future is more and more in hills and mountains, and so I see a good future. And but it is important to repeat, it is important that we save the soil. This natural productivity we have this is our old base. Yeah. Also as a match in manufacture, this is the base.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Klaus and Lukas. Thanks for being with us. And
thank you too.
It was great to see you. And stay strong, and let's go forward from here. And I think the next thing with our webinar is that we are going to go to Brazil. We will see the Bernec operation in southern Brazil. So let's go to Brazil. Bye Switzerland, and hello Brazil.
Goodbye. Thank you for all.
Bom, hoje aqui da Bernec, né, temos um plantel de máquinas aí com mais de 23 harvesters, né, mais de 28 forwarders, então são mais de 50 máquinas pesadas, e a nossa produção anual hoje gira em torno de 1.500.000 toneladas. Toda é nos estados do Paraná e Santa Catarina. Na região do Vale do Ribeira, que é onde são empregadas essas máquinas da Ponsse, né, com o cabo auxiliar, a nossa produção hoje é média de 40 mil toneladas mês. Nós temos 6 harvester, 6 forwarder Ponsse com o guincho auxiliar. E temos mais alguns forwarders só em Santa Catarina e mais alguns cabeçotes também. Nós começamos a utilizar os equipamentos da Ponsse com guincho em 2017, né? A partir desse primeiro casal, fomos ampliando a frota, né? Hoje já estamos com 4 e mais 2 chegando, já estou considerando 6 harvester e 6 forwarder com guincho da Ponsse. A região onde estamos utilizando esses equipamentos são no Vale do Ribeira, a região do Vale do Ribeira, no estado do Paraná. É uma das regiões mais acidentadas que eu acredito de colheita de madeira no Brasil. Nós sempre estávamos utilizando cabos aéreos, né? Torres com cabos aéreos, e para os equipamentos sem guincho sobrava uma área bem menor, né? A partir do momento que passamos a utilizar esses equipamentos com guincho, ficou menos áreas para colher com cabo aéreo, né? Então a gente viu que a Ponsse desenvolveu, né, um sistema específico para terrenos acidentados, esses equipamentos. Então foi aí que a gente viu que era um momento que as máquinas já estavam adequadas para o uso, né? E aí começamos a usar e realmente teve um bom comportamento, né? Maior produtividade, menor custo, né? Maior grau de mecanização, né? Uma operação mais simples e mais segura, né, que os cabos aéreos. Essa foi a vantagem, né? Acho que sim, acho que a tendência das áreas acidentadas são serem ocupadas com floresta plantada, com plantações florestais.
All right, and thank you again, Brazil and Pernec this time. So I have to say that before this Pernec video, there was a good discussions with the Herzog guys, and very good points again that I would like to highlight. That we are making the whole package here at the factory, the full solution for the customers, and this is also meaning that we are testing also the machines, you know, before the delivery here at the factory really well. So we have excellent places here really to make sure that we are delivering machine with the right quality, and we have the hills that we can try the machine out here, test the winches also before the delivery. So this is quite important. And maybe is there still some points that you guys would like to raise up about the R&D and product development? Is there still something that you would like to say to the audience from your side?
I think it was all, but I think the last video, it will be very nice to see, because there is a very good points also from the product and the testing and development side. And
exactly.
I think
yes,
that will be a nice summary.
Yes. I think maybe then we will do so that we will go to the last video, excellent video, again from USA and from Miller Timber Services, and that is excellent summary, like Jan said. So let's go to hear what Mr. Matt Matioda is telling. So Matt, go ahead, it's your turn.
Hi, I'm Matthew Matioda. I'm Chief Forester and Vice President of Cut-to-Length Systems for Miller Timber Services. We're based out of Philomath, Oregon. So Miller Timber Services, we started in cut-to-length in the mid-90s with a traditional track-based harvesting machine and a forwarder. We bought our first Ponces in 2004, and at that point in time we had a Buffalo King and a six-wheel Ergo. That's evolved over time for us to steeper and steeper ground and getting on steeper stuff. We had yarder sides, traditional cable yarding sides. We had 5 of them at one time for steep terrain. But as Ponsse has developed in partnership together, capabilities of getting on steeper ground. First came the 8-wheel machines, then came the balance bogies, and now is this Herzog winch and other techniques we've developed over time. We have gotten on a lot of ground that would have been traditional yarder type ground. And as a result, we no longer have those traditional ground-based or yarder systems as well. We are 100% cut-to-length systems at this point in time. So when we start a new area, we look at a logging plan for the area. We figure out where do we want to be with the machines, where do we want to deck our logs, because in steeper terrain, you're a little bit more limited where you can put logs than if you're on flat terrain. So we look at that, we evaluate where do we need to be to tether off of, where's our anchor points going to be, how are we going to approach different drainages and slopes. We come up with a plan, then we execute that plan, and as we're executing that plan, we're revising it as we go, because sometimes the terrain changes a little bit underneath you, and you just kind of modify your plan as you go. Staying safe on steep slopes is really important. Your footing is super important because you're on slope and everything wants to go downhill, including yourself. So you want to make sure you have good footing, you've got your proper PPE on to keep yourself safe. And you're looking out for the hazards that you'd normally find in flat ground, but they're exacerbated when you get on steep ground. So if you, for example, cut a tree and you need to take a little bit off the butt of that tree to clean it up, those rounds can roll, and they roll downhill quite a ways, or they can. So you have to be cognizant of what's below your work area so that stuff's not rolling into roads or people's homes or people down there that could be working on the ground. So you need to be thinking about what's below you as well as what's above you and how you get the work done. So prior to the winch, the 8-wheel balance bogie machine, which is a great machine, we were kind of limited to maybe 55% adverse. And so if we had ground over that or pockets and corners, we kind of really couldn't get that. And in the wetter conditions, because it rains a lot in Oregon, in the winter period, we would stay off some of those steeper slopes because the soils would become a little more difficult to travel on, right? You would lose soil friction. So when we first got the winch, we immediately noticed that the winch did a lot of things for us. It let us get on the ground in the wintertime that we'd get on in the summertime because the winch helped keep us on the hill and give us that extra tractive effort. It reduced the impacts of what we're doing significantly because we weren't spinning, we weren't slipping. And that is a huge benefit to everybody involved. And then what it's done is, the people we work for, usually a lot of units have a corner or the whole unit where they'd like to get it, right? There's a corner, a piece that they like to get, and before we had the winch, it's like, well, we just can't get that, we can't thin it. The winch has allowed us to get most of those now. We get more ground. It has expanded the pie of the area that we can get on tremendously over what we could get on before. The job we're on today would not be possible if it wasn't for the winch. There'd be very little of this that we could get. And in this situation here, their options were very, very limited. There are no yarders where we're at here in Colorado. It'd be a helicopter operation, and the costs are incredibly expensive. So what the winch has done here in Colorado on this job is it's opened up an opportunity to treat the land and to help prevent this wildfire that we couldn't have done before with traditional ground-based. And in thinning operations, it's opened up areas that can be thinned where we can harvest trees, take them to town, make the stands healthy, which we would not have been able to do previously. Previously, this stand was a natural stand. It came up on its own. It's about 120 years old. It's high elevation here. The spruce beetle invasion came through, killed large swaths of land. If we don't do something with this ground, this stand will burn, and it will burn catastrophically with devastating results. They get a lot of monsoonal rain here in the summertime. Thunderstorms move through, put rain on the ground, and burned over high severity landscapes. The result of that is large debris and land flows and large amounts of sediment. We're standing on the headwaters of the South Fork of the Arkansas River. And there are 7 million people in the Front Range of Colorado that derive their water from this watershed and watersheds like it. If we don't take care of these stands and they burn, we're going to imperil their water supply. We're also going to degrade fish habitat and cause potential loss of life downstream from mud flows and debris flows. The operators love the winch, and one of the reasons why they really love the winch is it gives them the confidence to go where they need to go. prior to the winch, sometimes, yeah, we could get there, sometimes we couldn't, right? So if it was questionable, and they couldn't get out of that area, it'd be a problem. So if we had a questionable area, we wouldn't go there. But with the winch, it gives the operator the confidence to go there knowing that they can get their job done and get out of there and do it safely and in an environmentally friendly manner. So one thing I think is really important about this winch system is that its applicability in other parts of the country. You know, we work primarily in the western U.S., but I've seen a lot of opportunity for the winch to be deployed in the eastern United States and as well where we have steeper terrain. And why I think it's important for people to think about that is safety. Folks on the ground with a chainsaw manually doing stuff on steep slopes is incredibly dangerous. If we can get those people off the ground and in the cab of a machine, they're going to be safer, they're going to be happier, they're going to be more productive, and I honestly think you're going to be able to find more people who want to work for you and run machines and work on the landscape because the quality of work is better. It's safer, it's easier to do, and it's more enjoyable. So why would you not? Put down the chainsaw, jump in the harvester. Also, as the winch evolves, it's only going to get better. So we've learned a lot of things as time's gone on, a few years we've had it, but there's other ideas being put out there for improvements to the winch, and Ponsse being who they are, we know there's going to be improvements, and we look forward to those improvements. So this is only going to get better as time goes on.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Excellent feedback, excellent comments from you. Very great to hear all of those things. Okay, guys, I think we start to be at the end.
Hey, please remember, tell where we can buy one Ponsse machine if somebody is interested about Ponsse machines.
Very important point. So, of course, you need to find your closest Ponsse salesman, and if you don't know who is the person, go to the Ponsse website and check from there, and you will find your correct contact persons for the Ponsse sales. We are very happy to assist you on this matter. So this is very sure. Okay, but with these words, thank you everybody, and stay strong, stay safe, and bye-bye from Finland.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.